Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, this is a follow up to my videos on the Harriet Tubman movie. I just wanted to share some more of my thoughts. And also, I wanted to let you all know when I get a chance, I'll get back to my Talib Kweli series as well. So, as you all know, I did a prior video where I did a review of this Harriet Tubman film. And I also did a video where I talked about the lead actress in the film. And I defended her right to play that role based on the information that I had at the time, because you had a lot of people saying a black British person should not play the role of an African American. So that was the emphasis of my video, where I was basically saying, well, that's a silly reason not to want somebody to play a role. And for those people who haven't seen those videos, I'll post a link in the cards. I won't rehash what I said in those videos. But when I posted those videos, several people commented and they basically said, well, it's not about her being a black British person. It's not about her nationality. It's about her lack of respect for African American culture and history. And after reading quite a few of these comments, I said, well, let me go investigate. Let me actually read what this woman put out on Twitter so I can understand why people are so outraged. And after I had a chance to read these articles this morning, I understand where people are coming from. I understand their outrage. And I just want to share some of my thoughts about this. For me, um, I am concerned about some of the things that she had to say, but let's just break it down piece by piece. So, she made comments dealing with African American accents or the way African Americans talk. There was somebody on Twitter who basically was asking her, about being able to take on so called ghetto language to play Harriet Tubman. And this is a black person. And the funny thing is, this person who sent this tweet is one of these ADOS people. She got ADOS hashtags, American flags, and all that kind of stuff. And I was wondering if this woman wasn't, trying to goat this actress into saying something that would be damaging or whatever. So the woman basically responds to her, and she basically continues a discussion that's disrespectful of so-called ebonics, disrespectful of African American accents and the way African Americans talk. So, referring to the way we talk as ghetto and this and that. So that is disrespectful. I don't think that should be viewed as acceptable at all, and it should be condemned, and it was rightfully condemned by many bloggers, many people that do YouTube videos, many people that write blogs and all that kind of stuff, and I think that was appropriate. But I will say this, I don't think that in and of itself is enough to quote unquote cancel somebody. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of these people who are complaining about her, referring to certain African American talk as ghetto or making mockery of the way African Americans speak, these same people are the same people that condemn black people for being too ghetto. These are the same people that make fun of African American names. The same people that look down upon certain other types of African Americans. So these same people that are acting all self-righteous are the same people that participate in the same condemnation of African Americans. So I think that part of it is fake outrage. And while I agree that it's something that should be condemned, I don't think that in and of itself is enough for me to cancel somebody. Now, my biggest problem with some of the tweets that this woman put out is her defense of this Nigerian woman who made some disrespectful comments about African Americans, this other Nigerian woman. Now, this other Nigerian woman used a slur to refer to African Americans. I think it's called a kata or something like that. She used that term to describe African Americans, basically saying this, like the African equivalent of the N word for African Americans. So you had this woman saying that, this other woman was like saying she's not a Pan Africanist and, just going off on African Americans, making mockery of African American culture. And you had this lead actress, Cynthia, I can't remember how her last name is pronounced, but you had this actress that plays this role of Harriet Tubman basically defend this woman, and that is highly problematic. And for that reason, I don't think that she was the right person to play Harriet Tubman. You can't play the role of a historical African American woman and then be disrespectful towards African American people, or to co-sign or defend somebody that's disrespectful towards African American people. Can you imagine, Jewish people hiring an anti-Semite to play the role of an important Jewish historical figure? Of course you can. And I think that she was the wrong person for that reason. Like, I think that they could have found somebody else to play that role, without a doubt, somebody that didn't have all that baggage. And I understand, like, sometimes it's really difficult to uncover all this stuff. Like, a lot of people are not going to do some intensive social media search before they decide to hire somebody, or before they film a movie or something like that. So I get the difficulty, but I just think that we need to avoid situations like this. If you were going to play an African American, you got to have a track record of supporting African American people, as far as I'm concerned. You have to have a track record of appreciating and respecting African American people and culture and history, as far as I'm concerned. So for that reason, I think that they made the wrong decision by having her cast as the lead actress in this movie. And for that reason alone, that's why I think that, it was the bad decision to make. But that's not enough for me to say, well, I'm canceling the film. I'm not going to watch the film and all that kind of stuff. I think that that's too extreme. But I do think that people need to continue to make their voices heard. Make sure that people who want these kinds of roles have respect for our culture and our people. So, that was just some of my thoughts about this situation. Tell me what you all think. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Peace.